Hello. Hey, Lizzie. Welcome in. I am just getting set up. How are you doing today? Hey, Ruru. Congrats on first. Welcome in, hon. This is going to be easy today, I think. Although I seem to have skipped a recipe somehow. Oh, I'm doing all right, I think. Oh, I had set up for one recipe that involved a bunch of fried green beans. Bought the green beans, didn't print the recipe, forgot which one it was. So we may just be adding those to our tofu dish. There's going to be a lot of tofu today. I'm cutting down on calories a little bit here, so that'll help. Oh, yes, we're going to be making a lot of crispy tofu. Playing Minecraft. Although I do have shrimp for one of them. We'll be using that too. I'm also getting my model worked on right now too. Somebody very, very nice and very generous is helping me out. So maybe if I can get it converted over to VRM, I'll have the proper one with the correct ears here soon. And just happened. Did a few revisions in the kitchen too. We've got two chrome wire racks with all the pots and pans and toasters and stuff on it. The table's actually clear now. You're actually getting tofu right now. Hey, Jindal, welcome in. Just in time, yes.
Right, I can block.
We're going to be using the wok today.
There you go, parry. A raider check.
Fry up a bunch of tofu. And
Can do multiple enemies at once.
we got the extra fern today. I've got some brown basmati rice, which I cooked yesterday, just for today, so we could make proper fried rice. How are you doing this afternoon, Jindal? We're going to start off today with making a chili paste, actually. This is called sambal oil. I am going to make a very hot version of it. I got a very big old bag of Thai chilies, and we're going to use them for this. It'll be just a few. I got a pound of them. Hey Miyako, welcome in. How are you doing? Hope everybody's having a good weekend. I know it's almost over, but yeah. Those. I'm just getting some stuff ready here. Now that I've got a little bit more room to work with, it's a little better. Doing good? Excellent. I know people have said something about it in the past, but I'm sitting here looking at my notebook, and my notebook, just from all the recipes that I've printed so that I could have it here while I was working, it's almost 1.5 inches thick. I might have to be able to make somebody a modified cookbook. We'll be ready here in just a couple minutes. Evil spoon? No. I find it interesting that I'm using salt for this, when it probably should be MSG. But, you know, whatever. I'm also going to have to make breakfast stuff today too. I can't keep going and buying stuff on the way to work. It's getting kind of annoying. So a little mundane cooking today too. Today we're doing some Indonesian food. We've got our sambal olek. I'm gonna make some crispy tofu, quite a bit of it actually, 2 entire bricks full. Then we're gonna make some Nasi Goreng, which is an Indonesian fried rice. That one we're gonna use the tofu and the shrimp for. And then we're going to do a tahu gerjot seremon, which I'm sure I'm butchering that, I apologize, which is a fried tofu and chili soy sauce, but I'm going to modify that a little bit. I'm going to use, I'm going to add green beans to it since I went and bought them and I forgot what I was supposed to make them with. So green beans. And then I've also got a fried banana recipe that we're going to try to do. Fried bananas with coconut. So we're going to set up here in about a minute or two and get started. Did eat today. I don't know. This chili sauce is actually going to be made with raw peppers. We're going to use some rice vinegar and lime juice to kind of cook it a little bit. We're going to add some acid to it. It's not really cooking it. It's kind of like the same thing that you do with ceviche. Not really the same thing, but it's close. I think we're about ready. So let's switch over to our cameras here. So first up today is going to be our sambal olek. Olek. Oelek. This is a classic chili paste that's generally used for cooking as well. So we'll be making this and jarring it and then using it in our dishes today as well. So I'm not only doing this, but I'm also having it for having something for later with that. So that ought to be interesting. So what we have for this is we have our very spicy Thai bird's eye chilies, which I got just yesterday. We've got some rice vinegar, some salt and lime juice, as well as a few very small cloves of garlic. We are just going to pull out a few of these chilies because we need them for a couple other recipes as well. So I'm just going to grab a few of these and pull them out. We're just going to grind this up in our blender and mix in the acid, and we are good to go. So I'm going to get a picture of this for our Discord. For anybody that's new, you can join our Discord. We do manual process for that, so if you do decide to join, give me a little while to, get to you. Do leave a message so that we know you're there. And I post all of our recipes and all of our information, as well as previews of what we're going to do for the next show and everything else. So those will all be there if you need them. Okay. I got two things going on at once. So I'm going to set these off to the side here. We'll get about 2 tablespoons of this. Yep, you're there. A few recipes. I am a little behind. I did it. but I'm trying to get caught up. I've gotten a few of them done from the previous ones. All right, so we've got this is our right there. Just a second. I got something going on in the background here. Just a sec. Yeah, okay, good. All right, so let's go ahead and start cutting up our peppers and our garlic, get those ready. Oh, we gotta hydrate too. Okay. I don't know why. It feels like there's salt all over the table, and I don't know why, because I didn't spill any. Okay, hydrate, got it. And like I said, a really good friend of mine is getting my models fixed up for me, and he was trying to upload it, and he needed a code, so I had to do it. I'm going to start off with our garlic, since that's going to be the smallest amount that we got to do. We're just going to do our usual quick crush and chop and peel. This is an optional item. You don't have to do this, but I think with the number of peppers that I've got in there, I'm going to use a little bit of the tempering and flavoring ingredient. Make it a little better, a little more rich. This chili sauce is very common actually in Indonesia, but at the same time, there's a similar one you can buy off the shelf. I can't remember the brand name, but it's the one. It's the one that uses the clear jars and the green lids. It has a chicken on the front. It's made by the same company that makes sriracha. And I've used that, but today we're doing it by hand. I hate trying to work on these little tiny ones. I tend to use the elephant garlic a little bit more. Just for anybody that's actually doing these kinds of things, especially if you have difficulty finding ingredients, that you maybe, I'm sure you probably got something around anywhere, that you, when you get jars like this with the glass jars for pickles and things like that, you save these and wash them really well and sterilize them. And that way you can use them for these types of recipes as well. I think these peppers, I think this whole batch of peppers here cost about $3. So this whole thing is going to cost about $3.50 or $4. And I think a jar of that other stuff is like $6. So just doing this is just saving a little bit of money. Plus you can put what you want in it. You can make it your own strength as well. Ah, everything's sticky. I'm going to use our other little chopping knife for this. It's a little better for this. There we go. So there's our garlic. We're going to add that to our jar. Next up is our peppers. We're going to start working on these now. Bear in mind, you need to be careful with these types of peppers because they will burn you. They will burn your skin. So be careful. I'm going to start by washing them all in our little sink strainer. A lot of color. I'm going to chop them from one to move them to the other. We don't have to cut them up really well because we're still going to put this in the food processor, so you just want to cut them up enough. Make sure they're clean and everything. The better your prep work, the better your result. You want to drink? There you go. Have some garlic. How you doing, Bon? Chopping up a bunch of peppers here. Welcome in. If Ahmad's there, you can get a shout out. If not, I'll have to do it in a minute or two here. All right, this one's starting to go bad, so we'll just cut that off. Oh, thank you.
No. Yes, it's funny. No.
Looks like we're going to get a little bit of green in here today. That'll add some color to it. These peppers are very bright. How you doing, Bon? I popped into your stream last night for a little while. Kind of limiting these to about a ½ inch when I cut them. We'll go through the food processor a little easier that way. We're also going to use some of our sweet soya paste today as well. I bought that like a month or two ago, and I need to use it. So we're going to use that. It's called Kit Kat Manis. In this case, it happens to be a sweet chili version. It should be fine. Waving hot dogs. Oh boy, what are we gonna do with you? You get into fights in front of a CVS, you fight people over grilled cheese sandwiches. What are we gonna do with you? Put you in the basement? No dinner for 2 weeks or something? What are you looking for there? I don't think you could go 2 weeks without dinner. I know how skinny you are. I've only got one source for these peppers here in town, so if I happen to get them at the last end of the batch and they're a little old, then that's what I have to use. Because nobody else has these in town. Study time in the basement would be rad. This from the guy that constantly says, "Oh God, I'm gonna fail," and then he posts his record of, 102 for the test. Do it every time. Every time. But you know what? If it works and you keep getting hundreds and 98s and whatever, that's fine. You be always scared. You're doing good. I'm going to end up with a burn. I can see it coming. This is going to be some pretty powerful stuff. All these chili peppers. See all that? Oh boy. Yeah, Spicy. How you doing, hon? These peppers are definitely right at the end. Good thing we're going to be soaking them in acid. I have to trim a lot of them. Getting home finally? Time for the tofu extravaganza. As I mentioned earlier, I don't know if you heard it or not, but I goofed and ended up with a different recipe than the one that I had in mind, and I forgot about it. So now the tofu and chili sauce is going to have green beans in it. We're just going to fry those right on in there. This stuff is not cooked. These peppers will stay raw. Yeah, I couldn't remember what it was. I bookmarked it at work and I didn't bookmark it here and forgot to put it on my phone. Oops, eh? It is important that you do keep an eye out on these things and make sure that you get rid of any bits that are not good anymore. I printed 5 recipes today. I actually have a recipe for key cat manis as well. I can actually make it. I seem to remember that bottle was about $9. Skate to the floor. Not letting anything escape on the floor anymore. I want it to stay clean. Oh, that looks so hot. I'm losing a bunch of these. Just gonna keep chopping peppers. We're almost done. Maybe 2 more batches. Hope everybody had a good weekend. It's actually been all over the place weather-wise here. Saturday was cold. Today it's like 65. But so far, my head is not doing too bad. Uh-oh, what's going on? Princess Nina! Welcome in. Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for the raid. How are you all doing? You're tired. I checked. You had hit 24, 25, 26 hours. My goodness. Hello. Welcome in, everyone.
Literally, I cut every single one of them.
And they worked?
Yes, I literally had to cut every single one. Oh
Did
no,
not work.
it worked. I had
30 hours. Oh my gosh. I remember last time you did that. Oh no.
That did not just happen.
8.41.
I hope everything went well. I was in and out, off and on, for the last couple of days, actually. I was in yesterday for a little while, and I came in earlier today. Went great. Oh, that's great. I'm glad to hear it. It's been a while since I've been able to see you. You were either on during the day when I couldn't because I was at work, or just weren't on at all. I'm glad to see you back. I know work's been killing you. I keep up as much as I can. Just can't be real vocal about it. I still make you some sushi if y'all want to come by again. I haven't let I got a new sushi knife. Well, life works that way, yeah. It's been doing it to me too. Like 2 weeks ago, they're like, "Oh, hey, you made it to 25 years at work. Here's a gift card for $200. Have fun." I know how it goes. And yeah, that's unfortunately not a joke. They did do that to me. I started to ask them if they were going to go ahead and just slap me and get it over with. I hope you all have been doing well though. Otherwise, we're making some sambal right now, which is an Indonesian chili sauce, which we need for our stir fry here in a little bit. I'm using some super hot peppers for this. Yeah, I know. Especially since they, like every one of my predecessors were getting, gold watches at 25 years. That was great to watch. This year they're like, we don't have any budget for it. But yet, of course, we hired, 900 people and opened another plant. We don't have any budget for that. Most aren't, yeah. There's a few here and there. I'm trying to find another job right now, actually. They kind of did it with me. I'm done with them. Almost done. Just a few more. Bunch of little ones in the bottom here. My goodness. I'm not feeling it yet, but I'm sure these fingers are going to be sore and burned. If you do something like this, do wear gloves if you're not used to it. Not often that I make my own chili sauce. Oh, I hadn't heard back from anybody yet what they'd like me to do, so I'm gonna try and plan something because I'm letting my 2-year anniversary just go flying by, and we need to do something. So I'll figure it out. Considering it was last month, which, funny enough, go shower and all. Who comes out? Oh, it will. Thank you. I was just gonna say, it's funny enough that you showed up today because you actually were my very first raid 2 years ago. But yes, you definitely need to go get some rest. 30 hours is way too much. I'll see you later. Thank you so much for coming in. I'll keep everybody well fed. These are the last two. The other one's no good. We still got quite a bit. Maybe next time I'll ask her for a little more if I do this again. Okay, so we've got our chilies now. Now, take our blender and we're going to mix all of this together and grind it down to where it's more of a paste. This I can't do on screen, but we'll get it done. We're going to start with our chilies. We're going to grind them up a little bit. But we need a little bit of moisture in there, so we're going to drop in our vinegar and our acid, lime juice, and we'll go ahead and drop the garlic in. And next up, no Windows, we're not doing an update right now. Thank you. And then we'll add our little bit of salt here. Probably going to end up having to add a little more vinegar to this, but we'll see. I'm going to go very slow. Let that run for a minute or two. We want it to be not really heavily diced up and pasted. We want it to be more of a chopped relish. All right. That definitely does not have enough juice in it, so we're going to add a little bit more of our rice vinegar. About another half a tablespoon or so. A little more lime juice as well. You might have to add a little bit of water to it too. We'll see. This is what we got. Oh, God. I got a big old wind in this one. This is what we got so far. Definitely have to add a little bit of water to it. I don't want to, but I'm going to have to. A couple tablespoons. We got to get some liquid in there or we'll chop it up. grab a spatula here. I'm going to slide it in there. Oh my gosh. All right. Oh. What? So this is what we got so far. I'm gonna keep getting in here and keep grinding on it a little bit until we get it a little bit more pasted. Damn. This stuff is strong. Let me move the blender over where you all can see it. Hey, man, Brett. Give me a second. I'm making some hot death here. Oh, gosh. Just the wind, the smell coming off of that did it. Oh. Wow. I'm going to add a little bit more to it. You know the food is going to be good when you get your nose running with such... it's dragging the floor. Yeah. Ooh. Okay. You know how computers get drunk? They take a lot of screenshots. We're just going to keep pushing it down in here. There we go. Now we've got more liquid in there. Thanks, Google. What Google what? Spying and screenshotting. Oh. Well, that's the difference between USA and USB. USA is always doing that, where USB is, oh god, an industry standard. I think we got it. All right. We're getting a slightly smaller jar. Just going to drop that right in there. Hopefully not dumping it all over the counter. If I didn't need this for another recipe, I probably would have done this last. I'm gonna have to really clean this now. Oh gosh. Okay. So we've got our sambal olek. Olek now. With 100 different kinds of death in there. That's good. Woo. So I'm just gonna cap that and wipe it off. All right. So our first one is done. Now, sambal, I'm going to let that stew for a little while. Just kind of shake it up real good, make sure it's well mixed. Very nice. Next up, we're going to start making some of our fried tofu. As soon as I clean the counter off. Ooh. since we're doing this on Sunday, I constantly keep cleaning up, so it'll be a little off and on here and there for a minute or two. So I have to have everything clean today. Next up is our crispy tofu. This is just basically a technique here. We're going to make 2 big bricks of it. For this one, you don't need a whole lot. You just need a little bit of salt. There we go. So basically what we need is just oil, salt, and a little bit of a cracked pepper for this one. I'm going to go ahead and just grind up some pepper. Because we're basically just going to add this while we're making it. The salt and pepper both. The recipe is for 8 ounces. I've got 32, so it's going to take a little bit more. There we go. Good bit of ground pepper. I'm going to give a little bit more salt too. If you have any sinus problems, this is one way to clear it out real quick. There we go. Okay, so next up is our tofu recipe here. This is it. This is the whole recipe right here. Just oil and tofu, salt, pepper. We're just going to fry this until we get it nice and crispy. That's it. That's the whole thing. But we need this for another recipe as well. So I'll go ahead and post this one as well. It'll be an easy post. But we do need to prep the tofu, and that's part of what really needs to be careful with. Let's see. I'm going to wash the board I was using real quick because I don't want any juice in it. Well, that may not do it, but we'll see. I'm going to flip it over. Drop that. This one, we're going to do 2 versions of it because we've got 2 packages. One of them is going to be the slice version, which is going to be little wafers. And the other one is going to be your cubes. Okay. These come soaked in water. You can see they're full. We don't want that. We want this to be dry, so we got to dry it out. This is just a compressed bean curd. We're going to slice up and fry. Well, like I said, we do need to dry it out. So we're going to go ahead and cut our wafers first. And we're going to pat them dry. So we're just going to cut some wafers, just like this. These are about a 1/4 inch thick, maybe a little thicker. Just like that. That's all you gotta do. Ah, my nose is still running. All right, next up, we got the paper towel. Love them. And just pat these dry. You don't want to squeeze them too much, but you do want them to be dry. You see how they're coming out wet on the towels? That's what you want to do. You just want to get it dried off just enough. And we'll turn them over and do it again. Tofu is kind of like a sponge in a lot of cases. It feels like a sponge too when you're working with it. But you don't want to squeeze too much. Just like that. Now this one we're going to cook as it is. The other one we're going to cut to cubes. But we're going to cook it like that anyway. So we're going to make it the same both ways. So I'm just going to go ahead and grab a plate here. And just start stacking these. Now we'll get our next one done. Brick. This is 2 pounds of tofu. We're going to use it for a couple of different recipes. Try to be consistent on your cuts. Just going to do the same thing again. We're going to dry it off with a paper towel. Just kind of pat them down. Squish them a little bit. This is extra firm tofu, by the way. You want to use the firmest that you can get. I know the store doesn't always have them. Come over. Same thing again. Just kind of press them down. You can see there's still quite a bit of moisture in there. It's soaking it up. Do the same thing again. We're going to put these over here, and then we're going to go ahead and get started. I'm just going to use a frying pan today, but you know, they would of course recommend you that you use a wok. I'm going to use a frying pan for this. I don't want to do too many too quick. So let's switch over to the stove. There we go. Can't do much about the sun today. Happens to be that time of day. So we're going to get our heat up to about medium high in this case. We're going to put some oil in there and we'll go from there. This is where we actually add the salt and the pepper. We want to put it in the oil that we're using and not on the tofu itself. Don't treat it like chicken. For this one, I'm going to use some frying oil here. I'm going to use some grapeseed oil. It's fairly neutral. And it's good for higher temperatures. Do not use the metal utensil on this type of a pan. Do not do it. If you do it, you're going to ruin it. So we're about at 7 here. And I'm going to go ahead and just start dropping some pepper and salt in here. Go ahead and drop a piece in here and see how it goes. Yeah, it's hot enough. This is going to take a few minutes for each one of them. We want them to actually be somewhat seared a little bit. You can't just pop them off and flip them and keep turning them. You have to kind of sear in the bottom and sear in the top one time. You have to kind of keep an eye on it. I'm getting hungry. Slide another one in there. You want it crispy, not just cooked. Everybody doing okay? Yeah? Alright. Probably could go ahead and pull the block out, but I don't think it would help. I was just trying to rinse that blender out. Holy cow. There we go. Starting to get the right color. Hey, Darkness, welcome in. How are you doing?
I'll have to see about filming that later. That was funny. Oh, are you gonna do it again? I'm doing it against Hashel. You shit.
Another disadvantage of being in here. I can't mute myself when I'm coughing and sneezing. Boy, that pepper's powerful. This might take a little while. Might have to go ahead and fire up the other one too. Doing pretty well. Sounds like you got hit hard by the pepper. Oh yeah. That sambal is something else. I did it the way it was recommended, but ooh. I'm going to go ahead and get our wok out. Get it ready. I think we're going to have to use both if we're going to get this done in time today. So I'm going to do the same thing over here at the wok. I've got the got it set to about 440. I'm going to add the pepper and the salt to the oil for this one as well. It's going to cook a little faster on the wok, I think, so that might help. Oh yeah. Yeah, come on, let's go. According to the instructions that I read about this, if the tofu is sticking, you just let it cook longer because it'll shrink up as it's cooking. Hey Scala, how you doing? Hey Melina as well, welcome in. Mine made enough beef and potato food to feed a small crowd last week. Nice. As you can see, this has soaked up all of the oil. I'm going to qualify those as probably being done. We'll start another batch over here. We're going to need more oil. Same thing, we're going to drop some salt in there. Some pepper. Spread it around a little bit. We'll check on the other one. They're crisping up as well. I got a wok going on the other side for those that are just coming in. Oh, hey, Helix, welcome in. I remember you. I've talked to him recently. Hope y'all having a good Sunday. We're making our crispy tofu to start with. We're having fun. That's cool. Oh, you said the dirty word. Oh no. Ohio. Ah. I'm so close to you all, I could be invaded at any time. Things you can't do without a kitchen is a ladle. Yeah. I got so much stuff. So far, we're getting our ingredients ready today. We made some very, very spicy sambal, which is chili sauce. Right now, I'm making some crispy tofu because that's going to be part of the next recipe. Our main one, which is going to be our Nasi Goreng, which is our Indonesian fried rice. That one's going to be our big one. We're going to be using some of this tofu with that, as well as some shrimp and some other things. The other batch of tofu over here is almost done too. Ah, look at that. That's perfect. We're also going to make some fried bananas as well. Hey, Deb, welcome in. You can understand why. Had another train? Oh my God, that's 4 in like 2 weeks. Because there was one over in Detroit and one over just east of Houston. Melina, this is kind of like a side piece for it. I'm also making this with making this next batch of stuff with jumbo shrimp and all sorts of veggies. I made some rice yesterday. We're going to use that rice and we're going to make fried rice. But I needed the tofu and I needed this chili sauce for that. This next one is actually going to be pretty intense. It's going to take a little while to get everything ready. It's cheaper for them to eat the legal costs than to maintain the tracks. That may be true. Not keen on shrimp. Where you had to shell them? Ah, okay. Well, today I decided on shrimp instead of chicken because it was on sale. You could use chicken for this, of course. Okay, these are nice and crispy as well. Nice and crispy. I'm going to add a little bit more oil to our wok. And some more salt, pepper, and do the same thing again. like chicken, just not nuggets. Nuggets are worse than the devil. Well, I tell you what, I make chicken strips from thighs and breast meat directly. So those are not the processed ones. I try to make things a little better than that. We're almost done with this part. I'm glad I pulled out both of them. It's speeding it up. Breast strips, please. Yeah, there you go. The thing about breast meat is that it's a little bit on the bland side and a little bit tough when you cook it that way. So I tend to try to use thighs for a lot of things. Thighs have a little bit more of a rich flavor to them. We'll let some of the smoke out. Get a little smoky in here. All right, we'll cut that one off for now. Next up is going to be our Indonesian fried rice. Yes, I have the door open, so it's a little bit whitewashed. Sorry. We got a lot of smoke in here. It's funny how I could open the door in the middle of February and it's like 65 outside. Okay. It's very different in the UK about rail maintenance. I don't see that there's a disasters because there have been, but track maintenance is a lot more strict in the UK. Yeah, it used to be here, but I don't know what happened. This country was built on rail. Matter of fact, I'm in a city that was primarily a rail city. It grew from rail. Norfolk and Southern's actually from here. It's mainly, yeah, having the issues. They keep cutting their own budgets down and restricting everything, yeah. That's what everybody's doing, and it's costing them too much. I'll let them cook for another minute or so. Not long. And then we'll start gathering up what we need for the next recipe. Yeah, I know. I don't know what happened, but it happened. What I was saying though was that this specific city where I am in is where the majority of it started. The company itself. It's one of the oldest, literally one of the oldest cities in the country. Hey Snowy, I'm currently working on our ingredients for today. We're going to have some Nasi Goreng, which is Indonesian fried rice. I'm making the crispy tofu for it right now. I've also already made some sambal, which is a chili sauce. And I'm going to be making some tahu gerot sherion, which is going to be the tofu with green beans and chili sauce. Yeah, we're right at the limit there. That's where we want it to be. Ah. All right. I'm going to turn this off for now and switch y'all back over, and we'll start working on the next one. This is where we're going to actually do the frying and do the real work. So far, we've got our double batches of crispy tofu, which was seasoned with salt and pepper in the oil. And we've got our sambal orek, which is our chili sauce. This is made with a little bit of acid and primarily bird's eye chilies. I used almost a half a pound of bird's eye chilies for that. You tried that with the passenger trains? Rail Union, yeah. So next up is our actual recipe here, which we're going to use all this for, which is our Nasi Goreng. So yesterday I made a big batch of brown basmati rice. This is all refrigerated and it's a little on the dry side. It's got a little bit of moisture to it still, but you can see it's very loose and fluffy. We're going to fry this. I'm going to use some peas and corn. Shrimp. We're going to use some jumbo raw shrimp for this today. We're going to need shallots. I've got right here. If I can get it open. I don't know why they bag these. I'm not going to buy this anymore. I'm going to get the bulk ones if I can. We got shallots. We want some carrot, bell pepper, mushrooms. I'm going to use baby bellas this time. I've also got some sprouts for serving. Very nice red bell pepper here. A little oddly shaped for a bell pepper, but we'll take it. We're going to need soy sauce or liquid amino. I'm going to use soy sauce for low sodium. We've got our light. We're going to need some scallions, green onion, little buggers would whistle until they got one. It does call for carrots. I didn't have any frozen ones. I'm going to go ahead and just, I don't like the dice of these, but I'm going to use these sliced carrots. I'm just going to dice them up a little bit. We need some palm sugar for this one. Which I do have. I have coconut palm sugar. We're going to need 2 eggs. This is kind of a binder for the mix. I've got some nice big organic ones here. Now, you can add some other things to this. I'm actually going to use some diced tomato as well. I've got some diced tomato here that we're going to make. I'm going to add some sweet soya. Our sambal that we made a little while ago. This is actually soya and chili. This is Kikat Manis, but it's got chili in it. Which is an Indonesian one. Open up our jar there. Try not to cough. And we need garlic as well. This is a big one. And then for our optional garnishes, we also have sliced cucumber and shredded cabbage and things like that. I am going to provide some sliced cucumber for this one on the side. So I'll bring that out. I'd like to use English cucumber, but I couldn't find any this week. Alright, so let's go ahead and get started in this one. We're going to go ahead and get a picture for our Discord. All these recipes will be posted as well. I'm getting to them as quick as I can. There's a lot of stuff in here today. Well, I'm not going to use the cabbage today. Oh gosh, this picture is just going to be huge. Okay. Alright. And I'm also going to be adding, well, we got the keycap, that's fine. I don't need that. I just want to make sure I don't miss anything here. So let's go ahead and get started getting all this ready. We got a lot of chopping to do. We need to move it. So I'm going to pull these off. Set them on the side here. The sugar we need, how much sugar? 1.5 tablespoons. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and set that up, get that measured out, get all of our little stuff done. I'm having to dig into it a little bit. This stuff will get hard on you. All right, so there's our sugar. We'll set that over here. I've made plenty of fried rice before, but nothing this involved. This is a fairly involved one. I also don't know how these fried bananas are going to go, but we're going to try that too. Pull that out of the way. Those we're just going to eyeball. We're going to use a couple of teaspoons of this and that. That out of the way. Our soy sauce is kind of eyeballing that as well, but it does call for 3 tablespoons. I'll go ahead and measure that for now. Three tablespoons is quite a bit. The reason I'm not using straight up keycap mayonnaise for this is because the keycap mayonnaise has like 1,500 milligrams of sodium per tablespoon. And I can't use that. So I'm going to use the chili, sweet chili. Hey, Dio. I've already forgotten again, but good afternoon, good evening. Yeah, paid for the dozen you shell. Having shrimp flashback. I'm going to set this on the side too. Now we get down to our veggies that we need to actually do something with. This is a side. We'll just put some of those on the side there. Dice these up. We use 2 of these. The eggs we're going to whip and put some salt, pepper in. For carrots, I'm sorry I'm using canned ones, but I don't have a choice today. I don't like using canned ones. Prefer at least frozen. Be sure when you do use canned items that you rinse them off really well. I'm going to set those in the sink and let them drain. And our mushrooms. Boa noite. Yes, boa noite. I'll remember eventually. That's not one of my primary languages, man. For some reason, I remember the Italian more. I don't know why. Hey, thank you for the follow there, Braxton Litton. Welcome in. Okay. Now we can start prepping. We need... Go ahead and get our tomatoes done. How are you doing? You got here just as we were getting started on our main dish today. Let's see. We keep our old bowls, even though we got a new set for these types of for these things. Hope you're having a good weekend there. We're just doing Indonesian today. We're going to dice up these tomatoes fairly small, not real small. How can a cat be that close to a cucumber? Okay. All right. All right. I hear you. You gonna do that, huh? I think that's only little domestic cats. Don't confuse us. All right. So we got our tomatoes diced up. Next bowl. This one we're going to get our peppers done. One thing I like to do is just kind of go around the center here. It allows me to get the core out without having too much of a mess. Want a small dice on this one as well, not too small. Another one. Wow. So we got a red bell pepper. I think I only need about half of it, but let me check. I try to follow these recipes as close as possible when I do it the first time. Then I'll figure out what I didn't do right, and I correct it when I do it again later. Okay. Everything's basically a cup of everything. So we don't need the whole thing. I'll pull that out. We got about a cup of that right there. That's about a cup. These are our shallots. These little purple onions make for much better recipes. What are you all doing over there? I'm going to dice these up pretty small. I was with 2 of these today, so we're going to use 2. 3 cups of rice is quite a bit. Okay, exterior layer coming off. There. There's our onion. Now we're gonna need garlic and our tomato or our mushrooms over here. I'm gonna go ahead and rinse these off and get some carrots as well. Carrots are gonna be a little soft, so we'll throw those in at the very end because these were canned, so they're already basically soft. We're just gonna keep going here. Not too much more. About enough. Got our carrots. Next up, we need our garlic here. We're going to need about 4 cloves. All these little tiny ones in here are causing issues for me today. I am not going to mess with all these little tiny ones. I'm seeing little ones like this. They're so small that you can't cut them. These tiny, tiny little ones. This recipe calls for about 4 or 5 cloves. As small as these are, I'm going to use a few more than that. This is one of those bulbs that I would have recommended using for making sauce or something. Wow. Just roast it until you can squeeze it out. That ought to do it. Get all that skin right off of there. Won't take too much longer, and then we'll start making the magic happen. Really don't think I can use it. No. That was two little ones that were stuck together. Sausage? Yeah, I'm actually going to be making some of that in a little while too if I have time. I mentioned that I was going to have to make breakfast as well because I need to start doing that again. Normally when I do that, I don't do it on stream. I just make our featured stuff. But we may have to today because I don't have time. I got a bunch of little sausage links that I pulled out of the freezer. Just make some eggs and all. Pull this off of here for a second. There we go. Want a nice fine chop on this as well. All right. Now, next up, we're going to get our mushrooms. We need about a cup of these, a little bit more than a cup. So we don't need the whole thing of this one either. I will be using some of these for breakfast too. Ah! No escapees. Another bowl. These, we're just going to leave them sliced, relatively thin. Just like that. We're going to need one more. Right, there's that. Don't you go anywhere. We're almost done. Next up, I'm going to go ahead and stripe our cucumbers. These are going to be Hey Wheelie, welcome in. How you doing? We're gonna stripe this. By stripe it, I'll show you what I mean. Just a second. Hope you have a good weekend there, Wheelie. We're working on some what's the Nasi Goreng, which is Indonesian today. Indonesian fried rice. I'm just getting all of our ingredients ready because we got to throw them in the wok as we go. These are some of our toppings and sides. By stripe, this is what you mean by stripe. You just peel it, but you don't peel it completely. You get those nice stripes on there. Virality, yeah. Basically, none of my friends were really going to that, so I just skipped it. We had chaos going on Saturday. Or Friday, actually. I had so many people joining on me. Oh my gosh. Alright, so there are our cucumbers. Those are our sides for this one. These green onions are also going to be partially cooked and partially sides. So this one we're going to split it into two. Go ahead and rinse these off. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to throw the green part, or the white part here, a little bit of green in it. I'm going to throw this part in with the onions. This part will be for topping. Green onion, I like green onions for most everything too, to be honest. They work better for a lot of things. And you can do it just like this. You can use wherever something calls for at least a small amount of onion, you can use the white part of the green onion in that recipe. So there we go. All right, next to last item here. We need to whip up some eggs. This is part of our binding for our rice that we're going to fry. I'm just going to mix it straight in there. I'm going to go ahead and get some of our other things over by the stove here so we can get ready. Tomatoes are a side. These are a side, so we'll pull those over here. Grab a couple spoons. This is a topping. This goes in the fry. These go in the fry. This goes in the fry. This goes in the fry. Now we need to make our eggs. Remember to hit your eggs on a flat surface, not on edges. It keeps the shells from getting in. We're going to mix a little bit of salt in there. Just whisk those together. You hit on the edge, you're going to get sharp bits. After fussed at me, I don't know how many times for doing that, so I stopped doing it. All right, let's switch over to the stove. We are now going to basically make our stir fry here. So what we need to do, let's go over that real quick. Switch to our stove camera. We're going to take our wok here. We're going to add some of our veggies first before we start adding our rice. Now, in this case, we're going to add in some of our shrimp, so I'm going to have to get those out. We're going to cook those and then pull them out. We want those cooked with a little bit of salt and a little bit of chili flake. I'm not going to add any salt to it because we've got enough in this as it is. So I'm not going to do that. Here's my scissors. This does not have to be very hot. Shrimp cook very quickly. These are still somewhat frozen too, so it's going to take a few minutes. So I'm going to move the wok over, actually, so you all can see a little better. I'm going to go ahead and use some of our frying oil that we were using earlier. This is going to heat up pretty quickly, so we have to be careful. Don't want the shrimp to get burned. A little bit of coat there. All right, I'm gonna add about half a teaspoon of chili flake. Just start tossing our shrimp in. These will turn pink very quickly once they thaw a little bit. I'm going to do these in a couple of batches. As you can see, they're already starting to turn pink. Of course, they will shrink up too. You have to be careful that you cook them correctly, because if you undercook them, you'll have problems. But if you overcook them, they'll be dry. So you have to kind of watch them. Lindsay, we're working on the actual dish now. This is the Nasi Goreng. Nasi Goreng. Nasi Goreng. We're going to add our shallots, garlic, mushrooms, bell pepper, and carrots. We'll skip the carrots for now. Next, and then we'll toss in our peas, and then we'll start whisking in our eggs and other things, and start adding in our rice. That's funny. I just noticed this recipe doesn't actually tell you to put the rice in there. Add a little more oil and do it again. I do have the temperature turned up a little bit. It's at about 420. Nice. And is that our chili plate? Cooled down a little bit because of the cold shrimp. We'll have to let it heat back up. Baron! How we doing, bud? Jindal, can we get a shout out or Dio? We're right in the middle of making our prep work for our fried rice here. Getting hungry?
Snorting lines of cum.
Oh my god.
This is our Indonesian fried rice. Not that again? I think I was there for that, wasn't I?
I wonder what happens.
I think I'm the one that clipped that.
Snorting lines of cum.
Oh my god.
That one made it to the clip rotation, huh? At the moment, I'm making our shrimp. Then I'm going to be frying up some of our veggies, and then we'll be adding in our rice to fry. We're making Nasi Goreng, which is a Indonesian fried rice recipe. A very big one. We've already made crispy tofu earlier, and we made our chili sauce as well. We made our own sambal. Right there. We made that with bird's eye chilies, so this stuff is going to be powerful. Right now, I'm making up some jumbo shrimp to add to it. We've also got mushrooms and red bell pepper, and garlic and onion and shallot. We've got all sorts of stuff to put in here. Almost forgot about our peas and our corn. The corn wasn't originally part of the recipe, but I had a lot of extra, so I'm using it. All right, next batch of chili fried shrimp is done. Add a little bit more oil again, just a little. Toss in the rest of our shrimp. A little bit more chili flake. This is going to be very spicy today. You have to be careful about order when you do these types of things for today. The harder the vegetables, the harder the onions and everything else, the longer it takes for them to soften up. So you have to cook them. You have to cook them in the right order so that you can get your timing correct. We may not honestly have time to do that third recipe. Wow. We'll see. I want to do it though. I'm going to bring the temperature up just a little bit because these are not cooking fast enough. Next up will be to clean that out a little bit, drop in a little fresh oil, and then our all of our onions, and then our bell peppers, and then our mushrooms. And once those are about half cooked, we're going to drop our rice in and start working everything into it. Oh, this smells so good. My goodness. We haven't even gotten to the big part of it yet. We're almost there. All right. A hair more. We're essentially kind of deep frying these right now. We'll try to get to our bananas as well. We'll have to see. That one's the one I'm going to have to wait on. I always make sure I have too much to do on these, in case some of these go faster than they should. Doesn't seem to be the case half the time, but you know, whatever. scrape down some of those chili leftovers here. Get them out. It's going to get scorched if I leave it in there. That is not going to taste good. All right, keeping our temperature up, we're adding a little bit of oil. And our shallots. Green part of the onion. And our garlic. We'll let that cook for a minute. And bring in our red bell. And this needs to cook for about 5 or 6 minutes. Normally, if you had raw carrots, you would add those right now too, because those do need to soften. But since we had to use canned ones today, we won't need to do that. We'll add those in towards the end. I didn't think this was going to take so long today. We're almost up to 6. My cutoff time is going to be 7, I think. We may have to run a little long today. Go ahead and get our mushrooms in there. We're getting ready to put it in. Our rice will go in about 3 minutes. Then we got to pile everything on. Our mushrooms are about softened now. I'm going to kind of move this over to the side a little bit. Start adding in our rice. We need to add our frozen stuff, our other frozen stuff here. So drop in our peas and our corn. We also need to add in our soy sauce. Here come our carrots. Same problem. We're going to move this stuff over a little bit. We're going to bring in our eggs and start scrambling those on the side too. See how quick those turned in? Now I'm going to add in a little bit of our sugar here. Not all of it. I'm not going to use all that. Some of our key cat. There's some ball. A little bit more of this moisture out. That's pretty much it. All right, we're going to switch on over. I sort of got everything ready over here. I'm going to add a little bit of this green pepper to it at the last second here. Let it cook just a little bit. And there is our Nasi Goreng. Hey, Blue, I'll get that in just a second. I'm going to be coughing a lot today because of these chili peppers. Look at that. We got a lot of nice color there. We've got shrimp, we've got tomatoes, we've got bean sprouts, we've got green onion, we've got celery, or not celery, cucumbers, and we've also got our crispy tofu for the side. All that work just for this one. That was a lot of work, wasn't it? Alright, let me go ahead and prep up here and we'll do our next one. Hopefully we have enough time. So our next one, and how are you doing today, Blue? Our next one is our fried tofu and chili soy sauce. So this one, I'm going to pull this one off to the side here. This looks really wonderful. I'm actually going to taste that. I'm going to taste that. I haven't eaten today. Oh, that's spicy. Oh, that is very spicy. Oh, yeah. Love it. Very, very spicy. What's June? Okay. What's in June, Blue? What are you boying me about? Oh, Ferrari, so okay. Do those. I've kind of got an opinion that I don't really need to pay to see my friends go see every night anyway. Plus, I can't do any model stuff myself, so kind of iffy for me to do that. I prefer to go to something like MFF at least once in my life. Okay. Next up is our fried tofu in chili sauce. Now we've already got the tofu done. I'm gonna switch to one that's dry. Now for this one, we actually need to cut up our tofu a little bit, so we're going to cut up some of the tofu here. Some of this crispy tofu that we made. It is nice and crispy. And I'm going to use green beans with this one, even though it wasn't part of the original recipe. We're just going to fry those as well. Ah. I got all these bowls and all of them are wet. So I'm dry them out. Hold on a second. I'm going to take our crispy tofu here. Cut up one more. Alright, so there's our crispy tofu for this one. This calls for water and sweet soy sauce, in this case pecat manis, which I'm not going to make. I'm going to use a little bit of dark soy sauce with a little bit of brown sugar, which is very close. Oh yeah, it's pretty. I have one of those rare bottles of dark soy sauce that you can't find half the time. I'll use a little bit of the brown sugar that we have left from our coconut palm earlier. We will need a few of our bird's eye chilies and another shallot and 2 more cloves of garlic. That's why I had the extras laying on the side. We'll try to go a little faster on this one. There we go. Just add some food coloring. Yeah, I don't think so. It ain't gonna work. Of course, where you are, you can get whatever you want. So. I'm gonna have to get Jindal to be my grocery store. Get me all the stuff that I can't get. It actually isn't a whole lot. I've been able to find a little more here lately. I got kaffir lime after all. Making you itch. You mean because I get my fingers down there? Yeah, I know. If you like, I can do things like your fellow YouTuber over there in the UK goes by the name of Hey. Okay, 2 cloves of garlic. We want those minced. We want 2 to 5 bird's eye chilies. This is the one I was saving the chilies for. So we got our chilies. We got 3 cloves of garlic. I'm going to use 3. There we go. We've got a minced shallot. We need about 4/5 of a cup of water. Thank you, British units. I mean, metric units. Need about a half a teaspoon of salt and a half teaspoon of rice vinegar for this one. So take the rice vinegar back out. We will use a half teaspoon of that. The other one was half a teaspoon of salt in our water. I don't know how to measure 4/5, so we'll just call it good. There we go. Calling it good. Sure, it doesn't matter that much. Then we need a half teaspoon. Salt. I'm going to practice again. After all these years, I've finally almost used up one whole can of salt. Yep, right on the nose. I think we'll only use 3 this time because the other stuff is pretty spicy. I'm not going to eat both of them this week. Now, for this one, I'm going to be adding some green beans. We've already fried our tofu, so really all we need to do is we just need to fry up our beans a little bit here. We use about that much. Hey Haru, how you doing? I hope you liked your picture earlier. Glad to see I'm not the only one that got caught now. Oh yeah, nice. Just look up Gold Guy. That's all you need. You'll find me. All right. In this one, we're going to dice these up. These are bird's eye chilies. These are Thai chilies. Very powerful. That was the reason I was coughing so much earlier. They're already starting to get to me again. go. Chopped up bird's eye chili. Now we'll get our garlic ready. All right, there we go. I really wish this board wasn't so warped. I should probably get some wood ones. Next up is our beans. We're just going to trim these and cut them in half. That's all we're going to do. How'd your weekend go, Haru? Cut them in half. The green beans are going to take a little while to cook, not too long. I'm going to try to keep them a little bit on the crispy side. So basically when we cook these, we're going to look for a color change. Not much more than that. I'm living on my back here. tofu looking great. Yeah, it came out really nice. It's actually crispy. Okay. So these are the ingredients for our sweet chili crispy tofu in sauce. So basically what we're going to do is we're going to make our sauce on the side, and then we're just going to, right now, we're just going to go ahead and fry up these beans because everything else is done. We need our garlic. All this other stuff is for our sauce. The beans here, however, have to be done separately. So I'm going to go ahead and get a picture of this for our Discord. As always, as I mentioned earlier, of course, I provide everything so that you can do everything yourself. I do enjoy watching other people making some of these things. And certainly anything that you want to add on your own. Okay. I do need to measure out that dark soy sauce. We're going to need a small saucepan for this one. Got our brand new ones here. I'm going to move the wok here. Oh gosh, I've already made a mess. It's going to take a while to get the stove cleaned up. Alright, let's switch over and we'll get started. I'm going to bring this up slowly, so I'm going to put this down on a 4 and go ahead and add our water. We want this to simmer. We need about 50 milliliters of our sweet soy sauce, which is a little over 3 tablespoons. In the interests of cutting a little salt, I'm going to put just 3. And I'll add a little bit of water if I need to. Shouldn't make much difference. Now we also need our other ingredients for this. Chili peppers, our garlic and onion, bring the heat up just a little bit. Now that we got most of it in there. Then our sugar. Just going to stir this in until it mixes well. Okay, we'll let that come up to a simmer. And in the meantime, we need to get our chilies done, or our green beans done. I don't think I need to walk for this. Actually, I'm going to bring the back up and just put it in our frying pan over here. The one I was using earlier. I'm also going to go ahead and just add the rest of our keycap to this chili. And that takes care of the chili. We don't need it anymore, and it's all done. Which is good because it's been sitting for too long. The last recipe for today, if we have time, I'm going to try to do some fried bananas with coconut. This ought to be interesting. I really need to make some breakfast food too, but I'm not going to have time. You have a lot of rice left. That's good. Be able to do more with that this week. Trying to get a few things cleaned up real quick. Well, that's heating up. Okay. Oh. Pinches of pepper. Oh. Just getting close to this stuff is so powerful. Jeez. More garlic fried rice. That stuff I made the other day was really good. It's pretty simple too. The only thing that I messed up, and I will admit to messing this one up, was that when I fried the garlic for the garlic fried rice, I left it in there when I was getting the rest of it done, when I added the rice. I should not have done that. I actually should have taken the garlic out after it got crispy, then fried the rice, and then added it back on top. Fried the rice in the garlic oil. That's what I was supposed to do, and I made a goof on that one. Garlic's toasty and crispy. Alright, got a little simmer going on. We want it to reduce down a little bit, so we're going to let it do that. Fry a lot of garlic and save half for the topping. Yeah, that's about right. That's where I messed up. I was so anxious to finish it that I didn't pay attention, and I left it in there. It's hard to predict how these streams go, you know. Like today, I didn't figure any of this would take anywhere near this long, but apparently it is. Okay. That's supposed to simmer for about 5 minutes. It's probably already simmered about that long, but I'm going to let it reduce down just a little bit more. Taken any pictures in a while of the final prep that I do with these, but you should make note that a lot of these are 5 and 6 and 7 servings. It's enough for 4 people. When you start measuring it out, it gets quite a lot. These plates that I'm using for display are very big. Trying to drop stuff. All right, that's about done. That's thickened up about right. Veggie, 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 more veggie, yes. So with this one, we've got our tofu and our beans. Started your wine 10 minutes ago, drumsticks in the oven, garlic fried rice. And there we go. That one was pretty easy. All right, last one that I had on the docket today is one that I have no idea whether I can do this or not, but I'm going to give it a shot. Just a minute here. Put some of this stuff in the dishwasher. I have got to get this stuff washing after stream. Immediately. Okay. So our next one is very simple. We have bananas and we have dried coconut. And we may need a little bit of cornstarch as well. We'll see. All right, so basically all we're going to do is literally just mix the two together, hope they stick, and fry them. That's it. That's it. No joke, that's the whole deal. You started what? Oh, yeah. Okay, so let me wipe the counter down again. Everything's all veggie today, so I don't have to worry about bleaching everything every 5 minutes. Pull our knife back out again. We'll start working on this one, and then we'll close out for today. So let's get ourselves another bowl. And we're going to add our coconut to that bowl. This is dried, unsweetened coconut. Or as the recipe says, desiccated coconut. We're going to take our bananas here. We're going to cut them thickly along the sides. A diagonal cut. Hey Lions, welcome in. Oh. So we're going to cut them like this. Nice wide diagonal cuts. We're going to try to coat them with this. I'm not sure how well this is going to work. I'm doing pretty well today, I hope. How are you doing? I'm just kind of packing it on there, pressing it in a little bit. Wanted to stop by and say hello. Yep, we are doing pretty well today. We've gotten through our main recipes. We're kind of doing a little side dish kind of dessert type deal right now. I'm just kind of mashing the bananas into it. We're going to deep fry these, sort of. I'm actually going to pan fry them. All right, there's our first one. I think I'll make 2 of them today, and we'll see how it goes. This is actually something I'm not supposed to be eating. It's not because of the sugar, it's because of the bananas. Bananas are really high in potassium, which is good for most people, but my meds increase my potassium dramatically, which is not good for me. Kind of hurts your kidneys. Going to keep packing them as much as we can. Again, this is just bananas and coconut. That's it. They didn't actually put the Indonesian translated name for this one in there unless that's all it is. I'm sure it's not. Looks like we had just enough coconut for 2. Yes, it is, Jern. How are you doing? I am just packing as much coconut onto banana as I can, and we're going to put this on the frying pan right now. As I switch back over to the stove, can we get a shout out for Jern too, please? Bring our heat back up.
We shot that fucker right between the eyes and it didn't die. Smith had to cut his fucking arms and legs off. For God's sake, send help!
Oh, look at the Pono egg. Does Pono make emotes? Oh, of course Pono makes emotes. Yeah, she gets some Pono emotes. Ooh, I love that.
Did you get a chance to try the yellow curry yet, or?
I got hydrated again. Decrease that.
I was waiting to hear the results. Okay. We're going to pan fry these shallow. So I'm going to bring the temperature up a little bit higher this time. And add a little bit more oil. Ooh, gosh. I think we don't need the cornstarch. Also, grabbing some nuts and crushing them as well. And this is for not this, but the other recipe that we just finished. It's a topping for our fried rice. Frequently, they like to add a little bit of crunch on top. How you doing, Turner? You have a good weekend? T-Pain, welcome in as well. That's right. I just grabbed that last little bit of coconut and just ate it. Smells like our oil's about ready. Start to smoke a little bit. All right, let's do this. Do not know how this is going to go. It already looks like it's overcooking a little bit. Turn the heat down. Turn over. I'm sure you could do this with plantain as well. See how long I'm supposed to cook them. Lightly brown. Okay. Looks like we're almost done then. Check it out. Our Nasi Goreng. Our chili tofu. Our sambal oliek. Our crispy tofu. And the other one here is called Taugebjot Cibron, which sounds really Spanish. Sorry, I can't do it. And now, our final. My goodness, that smells very sweet. Our very soft fried banana. Thank you, Harun. I do try. Ah. Almost did it. There's the last of our toasted coconut. Some of it slipped off, of course. Oh my God. Potentially there was one more dip tonight, but I just do not have the energy to do it, and we do not have the time. So I'm glad everybody came in tonight. This is not to say very difficult. Oh, thank you, Melina. We did pretty well tonight. It's a lot of prep work for that rice, but it's not bad at all, really. Just a lot of cutting and chopping and pre-cooking everything. Thank you, Lions. So for now, I'm going to go ahead and find somebody else to raid. I really appreciate everybody coming out. Let's see. We'll pop on over here. I want to check the list here. Thank you, Bio and Dio and Jindal for being here tonight, as well, and Scala as well, and Helix, Tovin, and our new follower Braxton, and Princess Xena. Thank you so much for the raid tonight. I'm gonna slip back over here so y'all get a final look at it. I'm interested in tasting all of these. This is particularly good, I think. Actually, is this sweet chili crispy tofu? I want to try that. I'm going to see. Let's see. If you have somebody in mind, Dio, I'll take a look. Yeah, that's also not dinner. I am Gaz. Okay. Well, there's the raid message. I'm going to go take a look real quick. See what we're dealing with. Make sure that I'm sending everybody over to somebody safe. I'm sure it is. Oh, we're doing synth riders, huh? Okay. Well, we can do that. All right, if everybody will hang on. Yeah, I know, T-Pain. It's only 6:45. I need a couple more hours for that one. Hey, Scala, thank you. Y'all have a great night over there. Y'all have some fun, but not too much, huh? All right, let's go on and get our raid set up. We're going to go right over to Dio's target. I am Gaz. They're doing Synth Riders, which is a rhythm game and music, so we'll go from one chill stream to probably another, unless they're doing like death metal and I can't hear it. So if you will, copy the raid message, and you can cut and paste it in the chat to make sure you get it. We're going to head on over there, and then Monday I should be back again. We're still not quite finished with taking over the world. Gotta be getting close. Of course, I keep saying that, but, you know, I don't know how long this game takes. So, in any case, thank you so much, everybody, for being here. Really appreciate it. We're going right on over there now. Have a great rest of your weekend, whatever's left of it. And I will see you all tomorrow.